Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Rain or Shine Sports Network. We are in week 8 now of our Pro Football Weekly, 8th week of the NFL already. Nearly half of the season is gone. A lot of has happened, but it's just going way too fast. Our
It really
season will be
is.
over in no time. You
Not
feel
a
the same
fan.
way?
Not a fan of how fast it's going.
Well, it gets us through another year. So, we had a pretty even in our predictions from last week, and we'll get to that shortly. But for right now, I'll recap the scores from week 7. Starting with the Thursday night game, Denver 33, New Orleans 10, Jacksonville 32, New England 16, Seattle 34, Atlanta 14, Buffalo 34, Tennessee 10, Cincinnati over Cleveland 21-14. Green Bay over the Texans 24-22. Indianapolis 16-10 over Miami. Detroit 31-29 over Minnesota. Philadelphia 28-3 over the Giants. The Rams over the Raiders 20-15. The Commanders over the Panthers 40-7. It was Kansas City 28, San Francisco 18. Pittsburgh over the Jets 37-15. Baltimore over Tampa Bay 41-31. And Arizona outlasted the Chargers 17-15. On our predictions, I was able to pick one up this week on Robbie. The Arizona Cardinals over the Chargers set me on top by one game this week. Week 7, 11-4, Robbie 10-5. I'm still 6 games behind. Lots of time left. As we say, it is going faster. But we'll see what happens. I finally picked up, I think this is the first week that I gained a game on you, that I outdid you. So,
I think so, yeah. I think so.
so all right, there's what we had agreed on. And then the difference of the ones that we had missed and got right. Green Bay did it for me. And I did pick San Francisco. I thought they would. I thought they were going to look at that as their Super Bowl. I was not expecting Debo not to play, Brandon Ayuk to get hurt.
Yeah,
Um, tough week
Debo
that
did
way.
play.
What's that?
Debo did play. He played 4 snaps and then got sick.
Oh, okay.
And then later in the day, he went to the hospital and he had pneumonia of some sort.
Wow,
Had
wow.
fluid in his lungs. And he was discharged early this morning or late last night from the
Yeah, it was a
hospital.
tough
So,
week again. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers lost a couple of receivers there.
yep.
Chris Godwin with a dislocated ankle is going to have him out for the rest of the year. Mike Evans has a hamstring that he's been battling anyway, or was it a groin?
I think it was hamstring, yeah.
Yeah,
Out at least a couple weeks to get that going. But
yeah. I'm sure he'll be week to
and then
week, but
Ayuk with his scary injury he's done for the year. It's
yeah,
like,
no, it's
man,
been a tough one for sure. There is some good news coming into this week. Some of the quarterbacks that were out will be playing this week. Derek Carr is going to be back in. Will Levis is going to be back in. And Tua's practicing this week. I don't know where that's going to lead. The fantasy projections are looking as if he's going to play, but we'll find out as we
we
go.
did get I did get some insider information. I follow a
Insider.
certain player on Twitter or X, I should say, and I'm gonna pull it up and I'll get you an actual quote of what was said.
Ooh.
Um, it kind of gives you insight onto what's actually going to happen. So, this guy said maybe he deleted it, but someone saw it before he deleted it and it said, "Strike up the band, start me this week." Tyreek Hill said that. So,
Well,
maybe
I
Tua
would
does
really
play.
appreciate that. I've been sitting on him the last 3 weeks, and it has not been good. To have 2 targets the whole damn game, oh, it was horrible. It's been horrible. I've been looking to, and Tua being the difference. I'm hoping he can get back to that place, but I just don't know. All right, as we move forward now, we go into our rain teams and shine teams. The rain teams are the teams that are at the bottom of the NFL. We start with there's 3 of them. Each of us pick our own. The first one at number 30 that I've chosen. Let me get to my list again here just to make sure that I get it in the right order that I told you. Now I've lost my list. Oh, this is great.
Do you want to just look at the
There it
screen
is.
and it'll tell you what it is?
Number 30, the Tennessee Titans. Oh, you went 32 first.
I did, yeah, you did. Yep.
Oh, okay.
It's
32,
fine.
Carolina. We can go backwards. That's fine.
It'll do the same thing either way. So
Yeah. How about for you then?
It's hard to not. It's hard to not agree with what that is. There's nothing really going for them. So
Did you see Bryce Young is going to be starting this week?
then that's more of the reason.
Andy Dalton had a injury in a car accident
I did
yesterday.
see the car accident. Yeah.
Yes. So, all right, 31. Either way, yeah, we're going 31. I've got
It's my
the
turn,
New England
I think,
Patriots.
but I have
that's
the
right.
Patriots too.
Okay.
So
all right.
we're tied on there.
We do. Yes.
So
yes.
Who's your?
Number 30 for me is the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah. It's.
Ooh. Wow. It's not very often we agree on anything.
It's true, but
I've had Tennessee in these situations a couple times already, but you've finally seen the light and put them where they belonged.
Especially now losing DeAndre Hopkins, even though I didn't have much to really change the game for him. It's just more loss for them. So
yep, for sure. So now as we go to the shine teams, these are the teams that are the best in the NFL. Starting with number 3, or did you go number 1 with this one?
I went number 3, and I got Minnesota. They're looking really good. So I'm gonna keep.
You do. I also have Minnesota in the number 3 slot. I actually started with Detroit in the number 3 slot, but they moved to number 2 when I realized that they just beat Minnesota.
Yeah, I got Detroit here as well. So I'm assuming we agree on this one too.
I would say so.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are teams that are close to this level. I mean, you've had Houston in there. Baltimore is right there. They are playing as well as anybody is. So there's some teams right on the edge. Green Bay could possibly be there. Buffalo we've had in and out. So there's still a lot of parity up towards the top. All right. So the team that we thought did the worst job last week, the rain team for last week. This is yours.
I got the Jets. Like, it's just, what's happening? You got a weapon like Devontae back with Aaron Rodgers, and what was his stats? Didn't he have like 3 catches?
Yeah, the problem is there's just no continuity there yet at all, and they did not play a good game either. They really didn't. It was Pittsburgh just absolutely 37-15. Russell Wilson. I've got the Jets as well as the rain team. And the shine team, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I almost did the same exact thing. I ended up changing mine the last second here. Originally, I had it as Jacksonville, but it was obviously they did look good. They looked like a lot better than normal. But I changed mine to a team that I expected to kind of get stomped this last week, and they did the opposite. I got Seattle. I figured Atlanta would decimate them, but Seattle just stopped them.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
Defensively, they looked a lot better than they have in the last few games, that's for sure.
So some of this is a lot more difficult for me. Um, a lot of you don't know I work during the weekends now, so I don't get to watch games. So I go by a lot of scores. I just caught the scores of the Seahawk game, so I don't get to see a whole lot of those things. And I don't know. For me, I kind of expect Seattle to always at least be in the game. And I didn't expect Pittsburgh to do what they did, though, to the Jets. And so
Yeah.
with that, that's why for me, I definitely took the Steelers. I love to see Seattle playing this way. It sounds like they had a whole team effort in every area played well, and that's good to see. Any update on DK's injury? If it's going to be a week-to-week thing, or
It's not looking good. I think
yeah,
the last I saw that he might be out 1 or 2 weeks.
okay,
So
okay, that's
not
not
the
end of
worst thing.
season,
Yeah,
so
no.
yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and go on to the predictions, or are we going to go
The
to the
shine games,
rain and
the rain
shine
and shine
games?
games.
Okay,
Yep. Go with
so
the
the
rain game first.
the rain game of the week. This is the week that, or this is the game that we choose that we feel is going to be just kind of the ho hum. Nobody is even going to watch this game, or it's going to be hard to watch.
Mm-hmm.
What we found this week is that there wasn't those glaring games. If you look at the
Yep.
schedules this week, there's not a lot of two bad teams playing each other. It's mostly good teams playing okay teams. It's not the great matchups, but at the same time, it's not the two bad teams playing each other.
Not
My
the
rationale,
Patriots, Jags, Titans, Jags kind of teams.
right, right. So, who did you have for your rain game? The one that just or is going to be difficult to watch?
The Jets and Steelers.
Oh, wait a minute. That's
Why is this
last
up here?
week's.
Why is that up there?
I don't know.
I'm assuming then I must have. Yeah. Okay. That's on me.
So
But
I have okay.
the
So
Jets. Is it the Jets and who are they playing?
the Jets are playing New England.
That's what I meant
And,
to put, and I just
yeah,
forgot to
and
change
so
the Steelers.
yeah, the rationale
So.
for me on this was the Jets have 2 wins, New England has one. So
Mm-hmm.
between them, they have 3 wins. Every game has some enticing things to be able to watch. I still get it. Aaron Rodgers is still there. The Jets defenses should be good. Devontae Adams now. There were flashes. Brees Hall had a very good game for the Jets. So every game has a little bit of something to watch. So that's kind of nice. But I think that one will be the one that I just look at as not two big winning teams. So, and the shine game for me, again, there's not a lot of two great teams that going at each other. Dallas and Frisco in a lot of years, you would probably pick that one. I don't look at that one that way. Almost with those wide receivers out, that's closer probably to the rain game than it would
Mm-hmm.
be a shine game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, anyway, but I got Chicago at Washington, and the reason I picked that one is really depending on Daniels playing though. Jaden Daniels playing though. I think it changes everything if he doesn't play. And I think it'll reflect it on our picks as we go and stuff too. Um, I'm anyway. We'll get into that as we go. But for me, that's the shine game: is Chicago at Washington.
Mm-hmm. I had very similar thoughts. I had a couple that I could have put in this one. This one was pretty interchangeable, but I went with Philly and Bengals. I think if both of these offenses start clicking, I think this could be a shootout. So this one could be very exciting.
Yeah, and I like that. But I think that would be the next one on my list as well, just because it is two teams that can be competitive, and so that'll be good. I didn't realize the Steelers were playing the Giants this week, so they go from one New York team to the other. Um,
Yep.
all right, so those are our rain and shine, can't watch and can't miss watching games. Now let's get into picking the week's games. Again, as you saw, I picked one up on Robbie last week. I'm down by 6. And after going through these things, we'll see how many chances we have to pick up some more. So, game 1, Minnesota at the Rams. Thursday night game on Amazon. I've got Minnesota.
Yeah, I gotta go Minnesota as well on this one.
All right,
Rams.
here it is now. Philadelphia at Cincinnati.
Well, you saw in my Shine game. I gotta go with them.
Yep, Philadelphia on both of them. So, yep. All right, Baltimore at Cleveland. Cleveland will have a new starter. I see that Jameis Winston was named the starting quarterback for the weekend.
Yep.
I've got Baltimore winning.
Yeah, I want to give some hope for the Cleveland, but I just can't. Baltimore is playing too. I don't want to. I'm not going to.
All right.
Not this week.
Right.
If they play well, maybe next week.
All right.
But I want to see, like, Baltimore's playing too good.
You just want to see Jameis Winston do well because you picked him up. Are you playing him?
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about sitting Brock Purdy if none of those people are. If Debo doesn't play, I'm thinking about
Dallas. Teams are going all over Dallas.
Yeah, but if I'm going to start anyone from the Niners and if he's healthy, Jordan Mason.
All right, on to the next game. Tennessee at Detroit. Who you got here?
Is that a serious question?
Oh, surprise
me.
I
got Detroit. I got Detroit.
I got Detroit as well.
Yeah, it's
not too much.
No
so the next one, though, Arizona at Miami. I have just a difference of is Tua playing or not. Arizona is not playing bad, though. I pick Arizona in this game, even with Tua playing.
Yeah, this was what I was talking about that I changed last minute as well. I saw the Tyreek Hill thing, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'll believe you. So I am going Miami on this one.
Well, I hope you're right for Tyreek's sake. New York Jets at the Patriots. The Jets can't lose another one, can they?
Can't be too sure. Can't be too sure. But
so
I'm
you
go
got
with the Jets on this one.
All right, I've got the Jets as well.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay minus their bunch of receivers.
Yeah.
Bucky Irving doing well for them, though. I've got Atlanta winning this one.
You do? Yeah, me too. Losing those two receivers is going to be really hard. This is kind of like what you had with Tyreek. I hope Rachaad White now becomes a main target for Baker. He has been in the last game. He put up 29, something like that. But yeah, I just don't see Tampa Bay keeping up with Atlanta in this game.
Right. All right, Green Bay at Jacksonville. So you had mentioned Jacksonville was playing a little bit better.
I did. Yeah.
Good enough to pick them over Green Bay?
No.
All right, I got Green Bay winning this one as well.
Yep.
This one can be intriguing a little bit as well. Indianapolis at Houston. Houston playing pretty well. They did drop last week to Green Bay, but I got them winning this one against the Colts.
Yeah, I as much as I like Houston a lot, I don't think the Colts can match.
I think Anthony Richardson is out, isn't he? Is he not playing or not? No, maybe I didn't hear that.
Sure, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure that there. Yeah. Who was it that made the move? The Raiders? Did they pick up a quarterback?
Yeah, they took Desmond Ridder from Arizona's practice squad.
That's right. That's who it was. All right. On to New Orleans at the Chargers. And New Orleans kind of in a tough spot as well. Derek Carr is coming back, though, this week. And they played pretty well in the early season, but I'm going to take the Chargers in this one.
Yeah, me too. I think that the Chargers are going to be a lot better than the Saints. Even if Carr comes back, is Olave playing? Is Shaheed playing? Isn't Shaheed on IR for the Isn't he done for the year?
I don't know.
Something. Either way, it's going to be the Kamara show, I'm assuming. So I think the Chargers will find a way to stop them, kind of like what the Broncos did last week. So
All
we'll
right,
see.
next Buffalo at Seattle. You know, I'm always a Seahawk fan, and I hope the Seahawks win. I give Buffalo the edge on this one, though.
Yeah, I want to pick Seattle. It's kind of the same thing for me for last week. I expect the opposing team to win, but I gotta put my money on Buffalo this week. We'll see. I mean, they did exact same thing last week, so they could do it again this week.
All right, next one, Carolina at Denver. Kind of in honor of one of my favorite cousins of all, Kenny Winningham in Denver. So quick to judge when I pick against his team, and then they win. So for Kenny in this one against the 1-6 Carolina Panthers, starting um, Bryce. This time I've got Denver winning this one.
We both have Denver winning this one. If they play anything like they did against the Saints, it's not even going to be a close game. I mean, how many points did Carolina score last week?
7, I
7.
think. Yep.
It ain't gonna happen unless Chuba decides to say, "Hey, I'm here now. This is my backfield," and does some Bijan Robinson type numbers. And no.
All right, next game. Kansas City at Las Vegas. Okay, I'm going to tell you this now.
Oh God.
This is a trap game for Kansas City. They just added the new wide receiver now, playing the Raiders, who always play them kind of tough. Last year, they had some games that they lost that against teams that they had no business losing to. 2 years ago, Russell Wilson beat them with the Denver Broncos at that point. Watch out for this game. This is at home. It's in Vegas. Vegas is absolutely reeling and not playing well, but I have Kansas City as the best team in the league. So definitely that's who I feel is going to win. But this is one of those games that could just come out and get everybody thinking, oh my God, what happened? So we'll see. Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, if out of nowhere they probably game planned for Gardner Minshew, I'd assume. I don't know what his injury was as to why he's not playing, but I know Connell's on the IR or something like that. I It could be a trap game for sure because if you're Desmond Ritter's a more of a runner than he is a passer. I got Kansas City though. It's like that defense is way too good, but obviously it could just be an off day for them. Just don't know.
Yeah, a lot of stuff would have to happen for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Chicago at Washington. Like I said, this was my shine game. This is two teams on the up and coming, definitely. And Jaden Daniels is playing. I will be a lot more comfortable with it. Did you have that one first?
Yeah, I got to go Washington. I mean, this could be a good game too. Both quarterbacks are playing decent. I mean, but one quarterback's just a little bit more accurate than the other. So
Yep.
I got to give the edge if Jade Daniels is playing to Washington.
Yep, and I got Washington as well. All right, moving on to a couple of the usual big guys. Dallas at San Francisco. Usually you're going to look at this game and think, oh, who's going to be number one in the NFC? Not so much this year, but Dallas 3-3, San Francisco 3-4, Frisco coming off a loss. Dallas coming off a bye, which they barely won. They almost lost that one. I got Frisco winning this one, even with the injuries they've got.
I just don't. I. Yeah, yeah. I don't. That defense is still on it. Like it's still really good, even if there's like only two of their star players playing. So I still think that. Like I just don't. Dallas' defense can be good too, but they just haven't shown that elite game, like that elite play that they have had in the last couple of years. So I'm
Right.
gonna have to go against them on this one.
And the last one is the New York Giants at the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're up on this one first.
This could be in that rain game category, to be honest. But I got the Steelers. I,
You know, having watched Russell Wilson over the past couple of years, yes, he had a great game. Was that Monday night?
it started off slow, but yep, ended up being
Sunday,
pretty good.
Sunday night, I think it was. But um, had a fantastic game. He really did. He threw the deep ball that I hadn't seen him throw in 2 years now. But he's got that side to him, man. And the Giants, if you go back to when he was with Seattle, the Giants gave him fits. And the thing that Pittsburgh has going for them is they have a backup quarterback that could come in if needed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping that Russ is back a bit. I mean, yeah, I was angry when he wanted out, and having been humbled, I think he has the way he was in Denver. It was nice to see him do that with Pittsburgh. But at the same time, this could go that way. I take Pittsburgh, and I think they're going to win. But I could see that kind of game. Seattle would have those out of nowhere sometimes against teams that had no business even competing with them. So we just have one pick difference between us. So I just have one chance to be able to beat him. And again, it's the Cardinals, who was the team that did it for me last week, and this time
Do it
against
again.
Miami. And if I knew Tua was playing, I probably would have picked Miami. But this gives me a chance to pick another one up on you. So that's our predictions for the week. We do have a little parlay that we try to put together. Last week, my pick hit. Robbie's for the second week in a row did not. So as I started losing the first four of the season, and now he's lost the last two. At some point, we're going to get together and get this thing to work.
And
Did
we
make
one?
Where, I was
going to
say, I thought we had one that worked. So for
my
this
two
one,
losses are by 1.5. Okay,
but you know what? When
really
you go
close.
to cash in the ticket, it's a loss. It's a loss. Okay. It doesn't go up and say, hey, we're going to give you half of it because you were close. That was a good guess.
Cool. That'd be really cool. I'd probably bet a lot more.
All right. So what is your parlay game? Which game are you picking for this one?
Well, much like my shine game, Philly Bengals, I'm going to go with the Philly Bengals over 46.5.
Wow, you're going over.
Yeah.
Have you went over on every one of your picks for the parlay this year?
Yep.
I thought you did. And for the first few weeks, they were working fine. So
it's a 50-50
I've actually got
chance.
Washington, a home underdog against the Bears. And again, this is if Jaden Daniels is going to play or not. But I have them getting 1.5. That will be my parlay pick for the week. Again, that's for entertainment purposes only. If you are foolish enough to bet on it and we get lucky, you get lucky and it hits, great, good job. If you lose, I wouldn't even tell anybody where you got it. So anyway, all right, now let's go on to the fantasy leaders for the week. These are the top three players at each position: quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. Robbie's got this images all worked up for us. It's gotten a lot better that way. So take it away, Robbie.
All right, quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson, right off the bat. 17 completions, 281, 5 touchdown passes. That is not something you see out of Lamar. It's usually a lot more running than throwing, but he had 9 rushes, so yeah, average rushing, 52 yards. That gave him 44.44 fantasy points. That's massive game for him. Holy moly.
Yes,
5 touchdowns and no interceptions? Crazy. Baker Mayfield. It feels like I've seen him up here every week.
3 or 4 times. Yes. No, you're exactly right.
24 completions, 325. He did throw 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He did have a 2-point conversion. He added 22 yards on the ground in those 5 rushes, and that's 35 fantasy points flat. And then we go over to Russell Wilson.
Oh.
Started off slow. He had 3 straight 3-and-outs, but then he decided to turn the game around for himself. 16 completions, 264 yards passing. 2 touchdown passes, no interceptions. 3 rushes for 3 yards, which I think all 3 of them were probably quarterback sneaks. But one of rushing touchdown, and that made him go to 28.86 fantasy points.
So after those three and outs, Coach Tomlin looked over to Justin Fields, and Fields started throwing the ball a little bit. And I think Russ looked over his shoulder and said, "Oh shit, here we go. I better get going." Anyway,
Probably. Yeah.
just that little information.
Anyway, starting off the running backs, Jahmyr Gibbs, 15 carries, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Good day for him. 4 catches, 44 yards. So that's 32 fantasy points for him. And this is PPR. Rashad White, my guy. 10 carries, 40 yards, and a rushing touchdown for him. And 6 catches, 71 yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns for him. I need a game like this for the rest of the year. 29.1 fantasy points for him. And Saquon, another my guy, 17. This was his revenge game that he had a choice to break his rushing record against, and he decided to tell Nick Sirianni, let the young guys eat.
Yep.
So shows what kind of player he is. But he's got 17 carries, 176 yards, and a touchdown, and then 2 catches for 11 yards, 26.7 fantasy points for him.
It's a high character guy right there.
He's a really good dude. He's always been that way too. Even with the Giants, he was always like that. He had those big games, and he would get sat in the last quarter and be like, let them go. So, starting receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 8 catches, 112 yards, and a touchdown, 25.2 fantasy points. And for the first time, we have a 3-way tie for second place. So I'm just going to include all 3 of the guys in here. Just go by quick.
Okay.
Rashad Bateman, 4 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown with 22.1. George Pickens, 5 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown with 22.1. And then Brian Thomas, 5 catches, 89 yards, and a touchdown, plus a 2-point conversion, and then 2 yards on the ground, and 22.1 for him as well.
Wow.
So I'm hoping that we don't have 3 second place ties, but that's pretty cool to have 3 have all the same points. So we're gonna move on to tight ends. David Njoku, my guy again. 10 catches, 76 yards, and a touchdown. And there is the tight end premium, which is an extra half point per catch and an
Look
extra.
at the hairdo in that picture. I never noticed that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, move on.
He had 30.1. Jonnu Smith, 7 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown, 29.1. And if I will say this, if you have Jonnu Smith and Tua is not playing, start Jonnu Smith. He's the go-to, apparently, between both of those quarterbacks that played. So, Brock Bowers, he's been up here like every week.
Yeah. Yep.
10 catches, 93 yards, and that'll give him 27.3 fantasy points. And now I have something new that I had just made. Top scores at each position as of week 7. Lamar Jackson leading the league for fantasy. Derrick Henry leading for running backs. Jamar Chase leading for receivers. And Brock Bowers leading for tight ends. So that does make sense as to why I've seen Brock Bowers up there every single week. But I haven't even seen Derrick Henry up there once. He has not led like for running back.
His game
points.
that on Monday night last week wasn't good enough to make it. Wow. Okay. Or I guess that was that Thursday night? I can't remember.
Either way, these are the stats for those, and those are the leaders so far. So.
All right, and that's going to conclude our show of Pro Football Weekly, week number 8. Hopefully everybody will enjoy this weekend. Hopefully everybody stays safe. We've had our rash of injuries here lately, and it'd be nice to get everybody healthy and playing at full strength. There's so much better to watch when all the stars are out and things are going well. A lot of interesting games. You know, none of them matched up with the 2 worst teams or the 2 best teams. So there's just a lot of good team, bad team playing, and some that are pretty decent against each other. So on behalf of Robbie Satera, I'm Tom Satera, signing off and wishing you all, like I said, a really good weekend of football. Go Hawks.